Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. My name is KateSemeniuk and I'm a RTT hypnotherapist, guiding people to find out the reason and the root for their struggles, whether it's an emotional or physical pain. And today we will talk about this reaction, or I would say the feeling, the time of your life when you zone out. When you zone out to think about something and you miss everything that happens around you. Why that happens, right? Why you drive and you forget how you drove to that place. Why are you in the meeting and suddenly, like 5-10 minutes of the conversation or the meeting conversation just blocked out of your memory and of your consciousness, right? Another reason is when we are in a conversation with another person and we just zone out for a couple of minutes and we don't listen to them, right? And that can come across as very disrespectful for that person. However, zoning out is a response to something, to the trigger. It's a response to the danger. It's a response to anything that your mind is used to escape. So let's talk. When you're a child, we sometimes see children zone out, but they don't zone out. They just are very focused. When you see a child, however, in some cases, even a young child can zone out. They space out. It's like they're going into their own reality, to their safe place. Why that happens, I'm going to explain. When you are in a meeting, for example, you can get triggered by whatever is saying, or you can get triggered by the unconscious thought. You know, thoughts can be conscious and can be unconscious. When you don't even know where is this reaction coming from. It means that you got triggered, and you can get triggered during meetings, during conversations, watching a movie, you know, driving, talking to your kids. You can get triggered and you just zone out. It can be a couple of seconds. It can be a couple of minutes. It can be hours even. Especially people who are depressed, deeply depressed, they can zone out for hours. Why that happens? Zoning out feels like you're just going into another situation. Sometimes you are going into another reality. Sometimes you are remembering something and it's not a happy scene. When we are regressing ourselves to a happy scene, to something like memories, the smell of the jam that your grandmother used to cook, those are great memories. Great, you're just kind of regressing, but this brings warmth, that brings happy feelings, right? Feelings of contentment, fulfillment, and happiness and joy. But in most cases, zoning out is not regressing to a happy scene. It's actually escaping an unhappy scene. Why that happens? When you were a child, you saw something. There's something that happened at home, or an abuse that happened to you. That can trigger you to kind of zone out, to dissociate, right? And sometimes the zoning out goes without dissociating. You're not coming out of your body. You're just kind of, your mind just blanks, right? And you go into the memories, into the worlds, you know. So that happens when for example, a child can zone out when her parents or his parents are fighting. When a child sees how her or his dad is abusing her mom, right? So that's also, they can zone out just not to see that. They cannot explain what's happening. They feel hopeless, helpless. It is a shocking, isolated, unexpected event. And when that happens, you go into the stress mode, of course. And because you're a child, you don't know how to deal with it. A lot of times we zone out. And I'll tell you this very simple example. When my son zones out, I already noticed that, right? He zones out when we argue with my daughter. She's 12 and my son is 3. So when I argue, he doesn't want to hear that, but he cannot do anything about that. So he learned this behavior that he zones out. Whenever I see that, I stop the argument right away. I remind myself, no, 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 no. This is, and I go and I explain my son that everything is okay and everything is good, and we're just talking a little bit louder than usually, but I try to kind of decompress that trauma, because zoning out is a trauma response, is when your mind wants to protect you. You see, your mind is so brilliant. It will do anything to protect you. And sometimes, because we get ourselves as children, we are in these situations where we cannot run away, we cannot fight back, so we shut down. And sometimes shutting down means escaping the reality, escaping what's happening around us. So we go and we zone out, right? We switch off. And that behavior will be triggered every single day, sometimes every single hour, even when we grow up, even 20, 30 years later. So if you zone out, the best way to stay in the moment, or to learn how to stay in the moment, right, to practice this, is to find out why you zone out. What is triggering you? Maybe it's a comment from your boss. Maybe it's you're bored. You're just bored at the meeting, right? Which also can mean so many things. Maybe you are arguing with your partner, or in a conflict, and you zone out because you get triggered, because it reminds you of something. You see, your subconscious mind doesn't know time. It really regresses you every single time when you get triggered to that same moment when it happened, or one of those moments. It's like it's happening today. It's like you're again a child, and that danger is happening again. So if you feel that, if you have that in your life, please, it is possible to overcome it. I was a person who would zone out so much, and now it only happens maybe once or twice a month, and I'm very aware of it. So I'll come out of it, and I will always do self-analysis, what's happening. But it happens to me as well. I'm still working, but however, it happened almost every hour. And zoning out is when we scroll down the social media. Sometimes you scroll down, you don't even grasp the information. You don't even look at that. You're just at the point where your mind goes blank, right, into this mode, and you just scroll. That's also zoning out. That's like escaping the reality. What reality are you escaping? What is happening in your life that you are escaping? That happened to me so many times. I was in a deep depression, and I would zone out so often, not in the moment. And when you're not in the moment, you get anxious, you get panicky, you get worried, you get overthinking, you get all of those problems that we experience on a daily basis. Sometimes people will zone out to escape the reality, but that zoning out will get them even more anxious, because they will get triggered. They will go back to those events in the childhood unconsciously. They won't even remember that, or don't even realize that they go there, but it will, and can make us very anxious. So it's very possible. It's very possible, and it's easy once you understand why. However, when we don't understand why, we just in this cycle again and again and again, until we break the cycle at some point. So if you want to break the cycle of zoning out, if you want to find out where it's coming from, it's the best way is to go into your subconscious mind and investigate those moments. When? What happened? Why are you doing this? What's your mind is telling you? When did you decide to escape the reality and to zone out into another place, whether it's imaginary, in your mind? So I'm here to help you. I'm here to guide you in the RTT hypnotherapy, the most innovative, transformative way of doing the self-work and the healing work. So my description and my contacts are all down below. So please make sure you do your inner work, because that will be a life-changing moment in your life. Love you all. Be healthy emotionally and physically.